Hey guys, it's ACairconditioner, and this is a bit of a different video. So, as of the past few days, we had multiple different leaks. Not just that, but at the time I'm recording this right now, it's about to be Genshin Impact 1.6, and that will be the first time we ever see somewhat of Inazuma. Not a lot, but somewhat. However, recently there has been heavy leaked images of stuff that happened in Genshin Impact 1.7, possibly 1.8. This is actually focusing on all the stuff that we're going to see in Inazuma when everything is unlocked. All of it. Now, a disclaimer right here. As there are leaks coming in by the day, by the hour possibly even, this might not be all of the leaked info. There's a few infos that I might not have access to. But I have access to a lot of these info right now, and I want to show exactly how much we have. This video will be focusing on the leaks. All the leaked images. That includes some characters, some artifact sets, some new enemies that we actually saw, just small images of it, new materials that includes town looks, boss drops, signature items, and actually a brand new boss and some very interesting images. So, let's get started. First off, we have the characters. Now, these images has been leaked for a long time. We knew these characters existed in leaked image files. A lot of them we knew that existed. And these were leaks that also leaked characters like Hu Tao, Eula, Kazuha, and everything else. But we never knew what their names were. And here we are. We have Toma, Yae, Sara, Shogun, Konomi, and Yoimiya. Now, if you're wondering why these names are a bit Japanese, that's because Inazuma is based off rural Japan. It is a Japanese region. Case in point, why it's an archipelago. Why there's a bunch of different islands. Now, I'm going to go deep into some of these designs and some notable sick parts of each of these characters. Some leaked, some legitimately shown. First off, we have Toma. Now, Toma does not have much going for him. We don't know much. I have a personal theory. It might be wrong. Maybe he's a friend of Kazuha, kinda. All we know that he is a pyrovision wielder. Also, you can see the weapons right there, but they're very blurred out. I apologize. There's nothing I can do about that. These are all images that I was able to get thanks to a very close friend of mine, and he did not have any problem using it, with me using it. So I want to say thank you for that person. And once again, yeah, Toma, we don't know much about him. All we know that he is a pyrovision wielder. Not much notable parts. However, Yoimiya is next, and Yoimiya is very interesting because we actually got a few leaks about her. We were able to find a voice line confirmed by a leaker, stating this: "My necklace, oh, it was given to me by someone I care about a lot. Since we don't see each other often, sorry. While I'm busy with work in Inazuma, she's working hard in the Wangshin funeral parlor." Now, the interesting thing here is that this kind of brings in some sort of connection in a way. Who knows Yoimiya from the Wangshin funeral parlor? I have an idea. We know a few people that works in the Wangshan funeral parlor, but I think my personal theory is that she's close friends with Hu Tao. Now, here's the reason why. It is confirmed that Hu Tao was actually has high authority in the Wangshan funeral parlor, and they're both power vision wielders. If not Hu Tao, I don't think she would know Zhongli as much, because Zhongli is very well known throughout Liyue as a whole. I don't think he'll be known someone with Inazuma unless that person might be the Archon per se. We do know that Zhongli knows Ball, the Archon name for the Electro Archon, the original name of the Electro Archon. Sorry about that. If not Hu Tao, there's a possibility of a new character from Liyue, not yet released nor leaked nor announced ever. But that's a bit of a stretch, and I believe that Hu Tao might be the person that she knows and she's close friends with, which is very interesting. If Yoimiya ends up being a 5-star character, or if she's still a 4-star character, and she ends up having some sort of story quest, maybe you see the connection between those two characters. That'd be very nice. Next up, I want to talk about is Kokomi. Now, Kokomi, we do not know much info about her. We did see her leaked design, and this is the same image that was with Wu Tao, Kazuha, and all these other Inazuma characters. But we do have this image right here. Now, the left is her final design, as you can see right here. But she did also have a beta design that was very different. This is the image that we saw, or this is the model that we saw in the image. And she actually had a different name called Mimi. And we don't know exactly what this means. Maybe it's that Mimi was the original character and Kokomi, but then they changed it to become Kokomi. We don't know. It's all such by this point. And this is actually found by a Twitter user that my friend told me about, Project Celestia. I'll link that tweet in the description, but honestly, this is really cool information that I did not know about before. So thank you for that. It's still a mystery if they changed Mimi, or Mimi was a possible separate character that might be added as, I don't know, as maybe Kokomi's twin. I don't know. There's not a lot of info, but this is some good info that we got here. Next up, Sala, or Sarah, or whatever, however you want to pronounce it. There's a few things I want to point out for her design that's really interesting. If you look into her design, she does wear a mask on her top left, her perspective, top left. Similar to her Kaguya. You can see that he has the Harbinger mask on top left as well. Not saying she's a member of the Harbinger or anything, but I think that mask has a crucial role in her playstyle or character overall, as that mask is significant. It represents a creature known as the Kalesu Tengu, which is known as a crow goblin in the Japanese folk religion. It is a type of demon or a yokai, as people know it. I think a lot of people will recognize the name Tengu as the character yokai from Yokai Watch, which is one of the hardest guys to get. But yeah, her mask does resemble the Kalesu Tengu. As you can see the beak of the face of the Tengu being very similar to the mask. Very interesting. I think that her playstyle, or her the bird specifically, is going to have a wear that mask, because a lot of characters with the mask tends to wear to change forms. We saw the child fight having his delusion form, and we actually saw him wear the mask and a completely new clothing, a much more darker clothing. But there's another playable character actually uses that mask as an effect, Xiao. Now, similar to Xiao's Yaksha mask, which he wears it and then his attack does crazy damage, but slowly drains his health. I think Sada might have some sort of element towards that where she has to wear the mask, and maybe she takes the form of a crow-like creature, very similar to Tengu. I can imagine that being a thing, and that'd be really cool to see. But hey, this is all assumption. But I'm pretty sure that mask is not just for show. I really don't think that's just there for show. Now, the next character we need to talk about here is Yae, or Yai, or whatever, however you want to pronounce her. And this is a very interesting character because we knew that she existed. Some people knew that she existed, and if you didn't, I don't blame you. But if you did, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In the wrong image. In the Chinese version of the 1.5 special program, you know those live streams that shows different events. I actually did a reaction to one of them, but for 1.6. The American version of this showed Zhongli, the VA of Zhongli, Keith Silverstein, alongside Zach Egler, the VA of Aether, and Selmer Cruz, the VA of Lumine, introducing the event. However, the Chinese version brought in the Chinese VA of Zhongli and the Chinese VA of Eula. Now, it makes sense that Eula will be part of this, as she was the main 5-star of this update. and Zhang was the returning 5-star of this update. But here's the interesting part. If you remember the very ending of the 1.5 special program, Zhang, the American version showed Zhongli showing us new images of Inazuma that we never seen before, confirmed by the developers themselves. But in the Chinese version, they showed us this mysterious character, we have no idea who she is, showing us images of Inazuma. Now, I originally thought that was the Electro Archon. I had some doubts, but I originally thought that was the Electro Archon, but I don't think she's the Electro Archon anymore. And in fact, now we know her name as well as Ye, because it's an identical design to what we saw here. This came out of the blue for me, and I was rather shocked to see that they just leaked a brand new Inazuma character that was not Ayaka nor Kazuha. That just came out of the blue for me, so I'm glad now we know exactly what her name was, because no offense to you people, I can't be Chinese. Sorry. But one last character to talk about, and this is the big one, Shogun. And if you cannot tell by this point, you know why she is the most important character out of the 6 equals, as I believe that she is, in fact, 100% the Electro Archon. As the Electro Archon is known as the Raiden Shogun, it's very similar to how the Geo Archon was known as Rex Lapis. But the real name of the Electro Archon was Baal, B-A-A-L. Before you get weird stuff in here, before you think of weird stuff, it's Baal. It's not the other Baal. And Zhongli told us about Baal being a female and all that, so we knew the Electro Archon would be the first female Archon. And now we have our very first look at what the character of the Electro Archon would look like. Very similar to how Benti was Barbados, the Animal Archon, and Zhongli was the Geo Archon Morax. I believe Shogun is going to be our Electro Archon, and she's also going to be playful. Whether she will be one of the few guys that will be against us, or she'll be like Benti Zhongli that supports us. Will she support the Sarit? Will she give up the Gnosis that easily? We don't know. But I'm very much looking forward to her character, because I think her character to be vastly different compared to Benti and Morax. Benti Zhongli, I'm sorry. I can refer to Zhongli as Morax though. Zhongli. There we go. Now, we have all these characters, and I did a bit of analysis on all of them except for Toma. Sorry Toma, there's not much you can find on you. But we have some more fun stuff to look at. Let's take a look at artifacts. Now, we have these new leaked artifacts. They look really cool. We have this purple electro artifact, you know, fancy. Looks very nice. We also have this red and white artifact set. One of them having, I believe that's a Kyuubi mask. That's awesome. That's really awesome. And I also just realized the clock has the image in the clock is very similar to Klee's symbol. Huh. Or maybe that's just or maybe that's supposed to represent the flower. I don't know. I saw that as Klee's symbol at first. Don't blame me. But we not only have these images, but we also have what these sets are called. I'm sorry for botching all these names. The Hachijirushi of Isolation and the Shimenawa of Memories. Now, what if I told you that I know exactly which ones represents is which artifact set? Let's start off with the purple one. The word Hatajirushi translates into black sign. Now, here's an interesting thing for you guys. The flag sign of an Inazuma is this. You guys recognize this as the Electro symbol. Every single element has a symbol. This is the Electro version. Now, I believe this is the Hatajirushi of Isolation, as the Hatajirushi of Isolation basically means the flag sign of Isolation. That's clearly representing Inazuma, right? And we see that Inazuma symbol put in every single little piece of medallion section of each artifact. You can see it right there. We can see one at the. You can see it right there. You can see it everywhere. And it's purple. Coincidence? No. Here's another thing. What then? This has to be the Shimenawa of memories. And in fact, it's not just based on positive elimination. I can also confirm this by itself also means it's the Shimenawa of memories. Here's the reason why. The word Shimenawa tends to mean enclosing rope. Now, these ropes are used in cloth objects. And I think the big selling point is the third image right here. You can see that little pattern of cloth objects put in 3 out of the 4 artifacts. You can see if you put on the clock, you can see if you put on the mask, and the feather as well. And you can see this is more based on the cloth-like objects as they're both also somewhat white. So I'm pretty sure we got our 2 artifacts names right here. While we don't know what their true English translation will be, I'm going to be calling them as the flag sign of isolation on the left one, and then the closing rope and the cloth of memories on the right one. I'm pretty sure that's it. If there's anything else if there are any argument against it, put it in the comments. That's my theory. Theories can be wrong. Next up are let's look at enemies. Yeah, we got some enemies. Look at that. Don't they look nice? They don't really, but they're just small images, what you expect. So let's take a look at our enemy numero uno here. Now, this guy can mean many things. This can represent many different characters. But personal theory, feel free to argue against it. I think she is another strong member of the Fatui, not the Fatui soldiers, not the Harbingers, but just one of those high-ranking Fatui officers similar to the Certain Mage and the Fatui agent. Maybe she'll be one of those enemies that's walking around that she has a specific drop. What is it? I don't know because we've never seen it before. So it'll be interesting to see what her playstyle is. She looks to be a Hydro character, but then again, I think she can also double as a Cryo character because she's blue. Not much info there. But yeah, I think she might be a member with the Fatui, and that'll be very interesting to see what the hell she's doing all over Inazuma. Well, then again, I feel like we would know what she's doing there, but we'll figure out in due time. Next up, we have this guy right here, wearing a very fancy hat. Now, this guy can be many things, but the fact that he's so general in a way makes me feel like he is the Inazuma version of the Treasure Hoarder. I mean, look at this. The color scheme is very similar, except for the hat, but he has the very red eyes. So maybe he's not a member of maybe he's not a Treasure Hoarder. Maybe he's part of the Fatui as well, just a Fatui split soldier put into the Inazuma ranks. I don't know, but then again, I do kind of fight against it because there's one more enemy that we have to take a look at, and I think he's for sure working with Fatui. And that is this guy. Looks very similar to this guy. So maybe those 2 guys have some sort of relation to each other because the furthest to the right has a top hat with the Inazuma symbol on top of it. Maybe he's a high ranking of the Treasure Hoarders system. Maybe. Who knows? But I also think he might be a bit of another one of those Fatui soldiers. We saw those we saw the Fatui musketeers, which are the power guys with the guns, or the muskets as they're called, as some people call it. We saw the electro hammer guys. I'm talking about those guys right here. Guys that works with the people that works with the Fatui as foot soldiers. But I think this guy works directly under Scaramouche. Now, let me tell you why. Scaramouche is one of the 11 Harbingers. We actually first saw him in the 1.1 Genshin update in the very specific event story. So if you don't recognize him, that is why. He was limited. He was not one of those big guys he was not one introduced through the main story. The Archon quest, as they're called. like La Senora, which is rank 8, or Tartaglia, which is rank 11. This guy was just put into a small story and a small update that I never even played, so I didn't know this guy existed before. But I think he works for the Scaramouche because of, not just because of the big top hat, but also it's confirmed that Scaramouche is some sort of envoy working in Inazuma, so we're for sure to see him. We're for sure confirmed to see this guy at some point, right? Maybe fight against them? Who knows? Do we recognize Scaramouche? And are these his guards? Are these guys the Inazuma guards possibly? Because Inazuma was somewhat corrupted? Who knows? There's a bunch of just random assumptions that I really cannot confirm yet. Yeah. So yeah, these are very interesting enemies, and for the playstyles like, there's the first one will be a pain like the Sursa Mage. Are just gonna see many of the second ones, and for the third guys, are they really part of the Inazuma Guard? Does he work at the Scaramouche? What did they exactly do? Not much info. These are just assumptions that I think are true. Feel free to leave your own down below in the description comments, because I love to hear your guys' opinions on these things. You know. Let's talk about materials. Materials are nice. So look at that. Shiny, beautiful, right? Now there one image, but we're gonna pretend like they're split. Let's talk about the furthest left row. Those are literally talent books, right? And they appear to be a bit different from the Mondstadt and the Leeway talent books. The Mondstadt ones were like book covers, and the Leeway one was folding paper screens, I guess. These ones seem to be very reminiscent of the Japanese scrolls. Traditional scrolls that was used in Japan and Korea, or ancient Korea per se, I guess, like a long time ago. Now, I will just point out these three right here, the symbols on each of these scrolls, or talent books, talent scrolls even, and what there are. So the first one shows a flower. It's 100% dead obvious that if you know any semblance of Japan, you will know those are 100% the cherry blossoms. Heck, we see the cherry blossoms right at the bottom corner, so it's impossible to know that's not the it's impossible to not know it's impossible for people to not know that's the cherry blossom. Unless you guys don't know Japan that much, in that case, kudos to you, because you're just golfing over there. The second one's symbol seems to be having an arch design. And those arch designs are very also Japanese-like. Those are known as the tori, which are commonly found in front of the Shinto shrines. These are Japanese archways built. The last one seems to have two fans, which is a bit which, if you cannot tell, represents the Japanese traditional fans. Very cool. I like how they are really sticking to the idea of Japanese structures and items. I mean, we got the cherry blossom, we got the traditional fans, which is what Japan is very known for, pretty much. And we also got the tori. Am I pronouncing that wrong? I feel like I'm pronouncing that wrong. Who knows? Next up are... Let's take a look at the next ones. What are these things? Now, some people's first guesses might be, oh, these must be the new daily bosses. There could be a bunch of daily bosses. No. No. Trust me on this one, okay? These are definitely boss drops, but I think these are weekly boss drops. You know, like the Volan, Tartaglia, the Wolf, H-Daha, those things. We're gonna have 2 more weekly bosses absolutely confirmed in Inazuma. 100% confirmed. And these are the materials. So the middle rows seems to maybe drop from a Geo element boss, so that's 2 Geo bosses right there. That's gonna suck. Also, by the way, these are all for leveling up talents, by the way. These are for leveling up talents. Weekly boss drops are for talents, they're not for ascensions. Don't worry, you don't have to panic. We'll go over those later. But the next ones might be some sort of electro-like plant weekly boss. Maybe we did see in the 1.6 Genshin Impact Special Program, we saw more leaked images. and one of them show a tree that we have to go to. Maybe that's where we're going to fight them. Maybe. I don't know. All subjects at this point, but they look really freaking sick. I like the Magatama over there. Is that the Magatama or is that the Mitama? I don't know. I'm gonna take a shot and call it the Magatama. The Magatama looks really cool. I like how that's actually one of the talent level materials. We have a coral-like branch-like object, very similar to H-Daha's tail. And we also have a devil's or demon's mask. Or if we're sure fighting a demon. And the next one seems to have some cherry blossom drop, makes sense. We have some sort of electro crystal. And we have a nice little plant that also appears to be some sort of tail. What's up with Genshin Impact and their obsession with tails? I don't know. I really don't know. What's Japanese obsession with tails, man? I don't want to call them out. Anyway, so these are all talent level ups. Let's talk about ascensions. Cause we have this. 4 items. That's all we get. Okay, I'm joking. These are the images, so of course this is all we get. We have a little electro beetle here. Maybe that's used to send electro characters, possibly. We also have a red flower, very similar looking to the silk flower. And the pyro Regispines as well. And they're gonna be used for pyro characters, possibly. Also, we have the seaweed-like item. And with a hint of blue, I think that could be used for hydro characters, maybe. It'd be interesting to see that. Also, we have this mango, but it's purple. It's clearly a mango, but it's purple. I could possibly assume this is for electro characters again. I don't know. Like, these are all assumptions once again. Also, that mango does look delicious. I would just like to take a big bite out of it. I don't know why. It just looks good, man. It really does. But we have another boss absolutely confirmed to come out in Inazuma. Are you ready for this? You're not gonna believe it. It's another cube. We got on another cube. And this is like the 5th cube, because if you guys cannot tell by my laugh, we already had the animal hypostasis, the electro hypostasis, the geo hypostasis, and now the cryo hypostasis after 1.5, and now we have the pyro hypostasis. So we have 5 cubes. Oh my god, I feel like they're gonna run up all the hypostasis before the Dandelion comes out, and that's scaring me. But yes, we have no idea what attack that was going to be. Maybe it's gonna cost us to burn. This is about pyro. Yeah, we don't even know what his name technically is, because you know how all these hypostases have their names. I think cryo is called Daleth. I'm not gonna try to remember the other ones because it's pointless. But yeah, we got a new pyro hypostasis, so that's our 5th hypostasis boss. Not just that, however. You also know what's going to drop. It's this very fancy looking small cube with a flame swirl going around it. How you hold that and don't burn your hands beyond me. But yeah, it looks cool. And this is and once again, because this is an overworld boss and not one of those weekly bosses, this is going to be 4 sessions. And maybe Toma and Yorimiya will be using this one, and other future possible 4-star power characters. And last up but not least, we have a few more leaked images that we just want to talk about. That's not really in any of these categories, but they just look really freaking cool. Starting with this. Fancy. I never knew that Tower of the Seven would look like that. Oh, I can't show you. No, this appears to be some sort of power source tower. And one of the leaked images in the 1.5 special program, we saw those mines and an energy spore surrounding it. Maybe this is a power source for love. Inazuma's technology, harnessing electro power to use in their technology. I don't know. Looks really cool though, and that's awesome to see that. And we also have another one right there. It's some sort of weapon, similar to the Guichan Ballista, but does shoot like arrows or anything. It shoots pure electric energy at people, I guess. And by the fact that there's an Inazuma flag right over it, maybe it's used by people in Inazuma that has higher authority, like the Bakufu, the governments of Inazuma. And it looks really cool. Heck, maybe you actually have to fight against this thing to get into Inazuma fully. That'd be cool, right? That'd be really cool. Or maybe we can actually end up using this thing. Like this, there's a few things that I can talk about, but we really don't have much info about these stuff, so I'm not gonna get too hyped up about it. But what's really cool to see is this. Recognize it? You know, I'm not playing you. It's the they're called the Electroculus. Now, if you remember the Ammonoculus and the Geoculus, who doesn't remember those? You would know that this is what we have to collect for our Electro Traveler blood. No, it's used to power up the Electro Statue of the Seven. Boom. There we go. Perfect. Because we know that there's going to be Statue of the Sevenless in Inazuma, and there's going to and it was going to allow us, the Traveler, to gain electro powers. That sounds cool. And I'm guessing this is what we use, and this is, I'm guessing, this is what we're going to collect to power up our Statue of the Seven. There we go, I can now words again. That's a lie still. And they look cool. I'm not gonna lie, they look really fancy. I like how this time is following the orb here. Is this time kind of following the anime routine where it's an orb with the symbol sighted, unlike the Geoculus one where it's just a symbol that acts like a rock in a center, or a crystal per se. And knowing Mihoyo's patterns, I'm guessing there's going to be a lot more of this compared to the Geoculus, and you know how much a pain that was to collect. So search up a guidebook, hopefully, and you'll be able to collect all of these Electroculus to max out your Statue of the 7, because Statue of the 7 is one of the first things you should be maxing out. And with that also, we can confirm there might be an Electro Compass again, or like there's these items that you use to find these stuff. Can't remember what they're called, but there's one last thing to talk about, and that's this. Fancy, their name cards, they're very nice. Just but what oddball here is the Primo Bishop one. I don't know why that's still there in Inazuma. Is he still involved with us somehow? Is there achievement list where we have to fight a bunch of geofish or something? I don't know. It's just random stuff. But we have a lot of Inazuma ones, and that looks cool. They look really cool. They look very electrifying. The top right one. My god, what's even for that? The top right one. That might be one of the wow, I cannot words again. In different areas, there tends to be these things called reputation, and it goes up to level 8. And now every time you reach a different reputation, you unlock something brand new. Either unique recipes to make permanent items, or food recipes that are unique to that place. And name cards. There are 2 name cards total, and I think we know one of them will be the top right one, as it has the shield emblem, very similar to Mondstadt, and overall it looks very cool. So I think that's going to I think that's going to be one of the given name cards. And then after that, I don't think any of these are character name cards, meaning maybe, right? But if they're not that character name cards, that means these are more achievement series, and that's super important, because that's more Primo Gems. These are more opportunities to get Primo Gems, and we like Primo Gems because we want to pull the summon characters that we don't like, so I can get my Ayaka. There we go. But yeah, overall, these are really cool name tags. I do like the archway one that appears out the tree. That's very similar to the Dragon Spine tree. Interesting. Very interesting. The bottom right one seems to be some sort of minigame thing, I guess. If there's an event in Inazuma that's gonna happen in 1.7 or 1.8 or 1.9. Who knows? Just shooting at random stuff by this point. And we also have another Inazuma symbol one. I'm guessing that's going to be reputation. Again, meaning we can possibly get an Inazuma wing. That's purple, and it looks sick. So it's definitely something that will be fun to just grind for, because honestly, ever since I got max reputation levels on both cities, I've not been needing to do bounties and requests other than just for the weekly missions. And I had to do those again. I had to have the will to do those again. Otherwise, I'll be very sad. Really, I will. Don't think that's a joke. But that's the end of it all. So, what are your thoughts? Am I so my analysis might be on the point or something stupid? Leave in the comments below. And this is my first attempt at doing a leak video like this, because I want to experiment my channel, do some more stuff other than just playing Genshin all the time. You know? Like you saw me do a reaction video, I could do some leak analysis videos and else. Maybe I'll do an analysis video for a trailer or something, I don't know. Just random. I'm just doing some experimenting by this point because I want to try something new. So I don't have to do the same thing over and over and over and over again before I start losing my mind. So if you enjoyed and you want to see more of it, leave a like. And if you want to see more videos, feel free to subscribe. Just by this point, 1% is almost coming out, so I'll get those up in time, maybe. Go behind on videos. But beyond that, thank you so much for watching. It's ACairconditioner signing out. Have a good one, guys.